Welcome to the LXC.
Put my pink up there just so that we
Pull
can
it out or
turn.
not?
Yeah.
We're just bursting
Just
it?
burn it.
Just
Just burn it.
vision on the
Alright,
vision.
we're bursting it.
They're gonna collapse mid. They're collapsing mid.
We getting
just
dragon,
2-0.
guys.
Yeah, I'm walking downwards. Can you walk here?
Yeah.
Look at
Lower,
the
lower,
horn, look at
lower.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
I'm on the Nocturne.
Yes, no spell.
Dead.
Huge.
Alright, on the horn, on the horn,
Yeah,
on the
keep
horn.
going.
Yeah,
Nice.
Warrior's not with them. We clean this up.
I'm still on horn.
Yep, I'm on Orn too.
Alright,
Nice.
keeping going.
Already sold top.
Horn's not with them. Let's just end the game,
Alright.
guys.
Yeah,
End it?
just done.
Episode 12. We are here today to talk about some Sentinel and Crusader semifinals. With me, I have Badgrr. Say
Everybody,
hi,
how's it going?
Badgrr. I've got Deera.
Hello.
I've got Storm.
Hello, everybody.
I've got Riven.
Hello.
And I've got WulleyBully.
Meow.
Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to be going into Sentinel League because Arbiter and Warden are over. They've done. We got, ending. Woohoo! So in Sentinel, we saw the semifinals. We had Engie versus Braum, and we had TD Bless versus NLE Valkyries. So, Riven, how'd that go for you?
So I, of course, was a participant in the semifinals, being on TD Blessed. TD Blessed versus NLE Valkyries ended up in a TD Blessed victory. We went 3-1. Gave the series kind of recap because it was off stream. We ended up winning game 1 pretty handedly. Had a really cool performance on Syndra, which is a champion I haven't brought out in Sentinel yet, but she is strong right now. So that was fun. We also had, hold on. And we also had Zyra Jungle come out from Questioning Error in game 1, which after the nerfs and how stuff went with Zyra, I was actually kind of surprised to see it come out. Didn't really help them in their game 1. Game 2, we had another pretty solid victory, whipping out the Garen mid, which is just busted. Such a crazy champ. I think even after this patch, he's still really strong, which is just crazy. And then we had, it kind of weirdly became a Jinx versus Smolder kind of series. Because NLE was dead set on picking Smolder every game after game 1, which is really funny to me. And then we just ended up picking Jinx into it, and it went pretty well. Yeah, and then NLE did bring it back in game 3. We kind of cooked too hard in draft, and they were able to take that victory off of a crazy performance from Questioning Error's Lilia in the jungle. I went 12-2 on that pick and kind of just decimated what we were trying to do as a team. And then game 4 was a pretty good back and forth, but we ended up taking the victory in the end. On the other side of the bracket, we had Engie and Bromlies, which also ended up being a 3-1. I think Deera might have a better idea of how that series went.
Yeah, so I was watching it here and there, but Bare Minimum was scrimming at the time. I wasn't able to really catch much of game 1, but looking at the win screens, it just looks like BLM actually took game 1 with a kind of a spicy wombo draft. I mean, that Jarvan mid is kind of crazy. The Letha, like the Manamune Eclipse Jarvan mid with the Neela, Rel, Diana, Ornnia. I mean, I just looks like they probably had some really strong team fighting where they just got that wombo off onto like the Jinx and everything else. And then after that, game 2, it looks like Angie just kind of went with what they're pretty standard with. I mean, looks like Sadness had a lot of impact on that Skarner, and Outrage pulled out a 19 kill game on Kaisa, which was it's actually crazy.
It's
Um,
become the norm. It's become the norm, weirdly enough.
yeah, and then like it looks like game 3, pretty similar style. Sadness on that facilitator with Outrage on that Kaisa, just like just completely like popping off most likely on the in those skirmishes. From what I remember, they were just having like really good skirmishing as a team. And then game 4 I think was probably the one that I felt was the most like back and forth. Lux was pretty scary in that game, doing a shit ton of damage. And actually like Stoic got really fed on that MF off of a couple like pretty rough skirmishes. But they Ingi, I was really happy with them. They just kind of, kept cool, played good macro, and ended up taking that game.
Yeah, no, that series was really fun to watch on stream. If any viewers haven't taken a watch to it, it should be available on the LXC YouTube, I'm pretty sure, or you can just go watch back the VOD on the Twitch channel. It was a really fun series to watch. The Jarvan mid was crazy. Really cool. It really just seemed like Bromlies went into game 1 being like, this is our game plan, and we're going to try and, just punch Angie in the mouth and see what happens. So they did get that first victory. Granted, Angie was coming off of like a 2 or 3 week bye because of how their buys ended up working out. So they were probably a little bit rusty. And then game 2 onwards was just kind of like Angie just doing Angie things. They kind of seemed like the better team overall. Bromlies did have that close game 4. Stoic's MF was really good. Unfortunately, when you're playing MF into champions like Aatrox, Skarner, Ahri, Lucian, it's very easy for them to get out of your ultimate. Heck, they have a lot of ways to get out of the Jarvan Cataclysm as well, so it just makes life a lot harder, even if you do get that early lead. And then Angie was just able to, they had a really good fight, got Baron, and then it kind of just was over from there. So, really fun series to watch. That does mean that our finals matchup is Angie versus TD Blessed, which, if we go back to regular season, was not a great showing for TD Blessed. But I don't think many teams had great showings against Angie in the regular season anyway. They were just kind of the best team all throughout the split. Going into this series, TD Blessed going on the dark horse run as 5th seed. Beating, of course, RAR Sentinel 2-1, and then now beating Enemy Valkyries 3-1. They kind of have the momentum coming in. Angie, of course, being regarded as the best team. How are we feeling going to this finals? How do you feel about this one, Badgrr?
Well, I guess personally, I wanted to ask you a question before I gave that answer.
Sure.
You said you went on a dark horse run. What changed, man? What's giving you guys the momentum to kind of like what's giving you the chance to play your best, right? Why are you guys on the run right now? It's the best time to be on a good run. What do you think has changed with the team?
We had a really rough regular season. I think we kind of like how the team kind of formed, and then we started out really hot. We came out of the gate swinging, and then we kind of sizzled. We had a lot of internal stuff going on with like jungle stuff and whatnot, and then of course they ended up having a roster change mid-split, dropping brain Audio Tsunami for Drop Dead, and Josie has been great. We had like that. It was really just us trying to figure out how we as a team functioned and worked. And unfortunately, that ended up happening mid-split. So like me and Josie were trying to figure out how we wanted to play mid-jungle. And then the team just wanted to figure out kind of his identity with the new jungler. And Josie has always been kind of a carry player with these off-meta type picks. So there was a lot of figuring out, a lot of soul searching coming into playoffs. our coach. Big shout outs to Rig. He's been awesome. He kind of put us on the right direction. We've just been practicing fundamentals, and here we are. A lot of people didn't expect us to get past Roar, and understandably so, like given how our season went. But yeah, we have the momentum now. I think the meta favors me very well. There's a lot of like mages and these melee mages that are doing very well, like Silas and stuff. So good meta for me. Good meta overall for the team, and I think it kind of just clicked for us.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, that's awesome, dude. I will say I've gotten the opportunity to cast you guys, and I think I cast the RAR series. And to be honest, I expected RAR to win because that was the team that I had seen a lot. But you guys really, really impressed me. That Riven performance in the game 2, even though you guys lost, I'm like, holy! I know I talked about it last time I was on here, but I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, that was wild. But still, like, I mean, you guys have looked to impress. I wasn't able to watch the TD Bless Valkyrie series, but it kind of looks like you handled business. I'll be honest, getting Garen mid, doing well into a Malphite mid. That's freaking crazy. Having to play into a Vex. I don't know. Oh well, that is the game you lost. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Yona into Vex is not a real matchup. You couldn't pay me to play that matchup. But anywho,
that sucked.
But I do hate to say it, as a new Origins player, the Angie people are my boys. And so while Riven, I have really appreciated watching you win. I do think, just with bias aside, it's going to be close, but I'm kind of thinking Angie might take it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can counter, obviously, but
listen, the fun storyline of this whole finals is the fact that Angie are my boys too. Because if you don't know, and for the viewers, I did mention this early on in the season, but when this Angie team was forming and in tryouts, I was actually trying out for this Angie team, and the reason why I didn't end up being on the team was because of my schedule. So there's a world where I'm on this Angie team. So it's very crazy. Talented, very good player. She's awesome, and I ended up being a sub for them for a couple weeks. And then as the story goes, One Hand reached out to me because he's looking for a mid laner, and here we are. So it is kind of like we got the battle of the new Origins mid laners that were supposed to be. So it's a little bit of a fun time. So yeah,
I'm excited. I get to. It's gonna be. I think it's also gonna be my final cast of the season too. I get to cast the finals, so I'm super excited for that. The storyline writes itself basically, so it's gonna be hype.
Yeah. How about? I mean, Deera, of course, you're on the New Origin side as well, of course, with bare minimum and stuff. So, how do you think about this Angie series and TD Blessed?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be an interesting one. I think that both teams like to play a pretty specific style, and I think it's just gonna come down. I think the series is honestly just gonna come down to like execution, especially under pressure. I mean, I'm not sure about like everyone on like TD and like some of the Angie players' experiences in the past. However, like finals, it's nerve-wracking. I mean, you gotta sometimes people are shaky. Execution can be a little bit wacky. I obviously being the owner of the org and the team, I believe Angie is really good, and I do think they are going to take this series. However, I think it'll be really exciting to watch, and I think it'll be one of the most hyped games of the split for sure.
Yep. How are you feeling about this one, Bully?
I think my prediction is that it's going to be the outrage show. I think the guy's just popped off all season long, and I don't expect that to stop.
One last Sentinel dance.
Yeah.
For who?
For Mr. Outrage.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the opposite side. I'm playing for him to stay in Sentinel for another season. So.
Hear that outrage? He's there for you. Let him have.
I will say with this series, I think it's very plausible that TD can win, but I think you guys definitely need to do a lot of draft prep and understand win cons here. Just looking at some of these games, like you have their 10-1 Jinx. Obviously, I don't know much about your roster. You're going to know strength better than I'm going to. But I think if there's ever a meta change for you to make an 80 carry irrelevant, this patch is the one to do it. Because I think if you're not playing like one of two champions, Syndra just wipes you off the face of the fucking earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's this meta is tough for ADCs. That is correct. What were you saying? I think someone was trying to chime in. I missed it. But yeah, this is. I mean, of course, am going to lean my side. I am the mid laner that has the skin in the game here. I think it's going to be a banger. I of course want to win, so I'm predicting us a cool 3-2. I think it will go to Silver Scrapes.
Okay.
All right. Well, we did have, while you guys were discussing all that, we did have our latecomers Cherry and Taco show up. What are you guys' picks on Engie versus Blessed? Cherry?
I think Outrage is going to outrage all over those guys until they get outraged and lose. That's my code. I really hope he wins. Despite how much shit I give him, he is someone that I've known in the comp scene for a while, and I am always rooting on his success. That's a lie. Sometimes I think it's funny when he loses, but not this time. I'm rooting for his success this time.
I love it. I love it. Taco, who do you think's gonna win? Remember that you're muted.
You expect Taco to remember anything?
I mean,
Taco fucking died, guys. Like,
I
this
think
is
he forgot to take the gag off him this week.
Oh no.
Daggone it soul. All right. Well, I guess we'll come back to Taco in Crusader. Maybe he'll be ungagged by then. Anything else you want to discuss about Sentinel before we move on?
No, I think this is gonna be a banger final. Should be a great time. Catch us on Tuesday on the LXC stream, and let's see how this goes.
Sounds great. All right, Storm, take away Crusader. Tell me what's been going on in their semifinals.
Hello, everybody. We had two wonderful matchups this week. Bare Minimum versus Contingent Esports, as well as your local RAR top laner versus Clown Gaming Bloodmoon. Bare Minimum Contingent Esports went a solid 3 games towards the side of Bare Minimum, and we sadly did lose to Clown in a 3-1 because we did take game 1. And if there's anything I'm going to be happy about from that series, it's going to be the fact I got them to permaban Yorick. But honestly, out of these games, I mean, it was kind of a banger series. Game 1 between Bare Minimum and Contingent. Badgrr, 8-0-10 on Syndra, 8-1 Trundle from Fort, as well as almost everyone's, the entire bot side of the map's deathless, including mid. Into game 2, they decided Syndra was no longer available. And it looks to be a bit closer of a game. 32 minutes still. Obviously, our resident player from that series is going to be able to give us better insight into it. And then I heard game 3 got pretty spicy at the end of it by the sound of it. Then in our other matchup, game 1, we were able to take out the win with some wonderful macro outplaying in the fact I think Kog'Maw is the most broken AD carry in the game. And then it became actually just like this perma-ban pick champion throughout the rest of our series. But Clown Gaming was able to win the next 3 games after that. Props to them. They played extremely well. Abound having really big games. And Wookiee Monster might not have been slamming his lanes, but able to scale incredibly well and be past 20 minutes. Vishkara was kind of actually impossible to play the game through. And that kind of just highlights our games. What's your insight into your matchup you guys had, Badger?
I mean, okay. I guess I will go first, and then I do want to hear, I guess, Deera's rebuttal to some of the things. But even though that was a 3-0, that might have been the goofiest 3-0 I've ever seen or been a part of, like, ever. Game 1 ended up kind of being a stomp. I think I think we had a really solid comp, and we also played around our win conditions pretty well. Our win conditions kind of were I was just like Syndra, like you said, Syndra's kind of broken right now. We were able to first pick it, and then they countered with Yone, which in a vacuum works. Like the Sedge Yone is very strong, but they weren't able to find enough angles to shut it down, and we were kind of just able to pick up a lot of kills across the map, especially top side, and then we were able to translate that to the rest of the game, and it was kind of a blowout. Game 2, what it ended up looking like was we kind of switched sides a little bit, right? We took the, I think, same 3 topside champs, Renekton, Sedge, Yone. But I will say, even though that game was a win, that was not an easy win. I don't know if I could count how many times I missed a Q3 on Humor. That guy had a feat of steel, is all I will say. He was dodging everything, and I'm just sitting there confused, like, man, am I just not able to play this champion anymore? Luckily, there are some clips, they'll be posted later. I got bailed out really, really hard. I was being very greedy in that lane, got put behind. My teammates came in clutch, Deera especially. Massive set of ultis to pick up for me being a little bit of a goober in that lane. And then we kind of were able to get to the point in a late game where we had a Senna Seraphine, so it became really hard for them to play. I will say game 3, it might have been the most wacky, but I also want to give Deera a little bit of a chance to talk about it, and then maybe I could see if I agree with him. Deera, you tell me about what happened game 3?
Yeah, so game 3 I think was a really massive blunder for us draft wise. I think we really weren't expecting the Cog Lulu. We ended up picking a like Blitzcrank to counter it, but it's really hard to blitz hook a Kog'Maw when we have like
Serpent.
0 damage. So I mean, I think Contingent was playing like really well around like their Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw like was rarely ever like getting caught. I mean, Pixel Wolf I think is like a really solid player and like almost never gave me any angles for hooks. However, I do want to say I think we did a really good job of understanding we can't really team fight, so we're just gonna play the macro really well and using that the Quinn side lane pressure, because even though Quinn wasn't fed or anything at that point, it was like a 200 and CS Quinn with 3 items. So I mean, Quinn still does a lot of damage at that point. And so we just did a lot of really smart macro decision making, understanding like we couldn't really team fight, and we're just gonna look for a side lane split push and picks off of side. And then we had one of the probably craziest ending I've ever had in a series in like the 4 years I've been playing comp, where Contingent was going for a Baron play, and our jungler I think made a really smart decision to hover around the Quinn on side lane instead of trying to contest the Baron. That for lack of a better word, was kind of a lost play because we can't really team fight against a 4-item Kog'Maw with an Aurora, Jarvan, Lulu. And he helped Quinn get a pick onto the Gragas that was matching him, and we ended up being able to backdoor off of stopping the backs off of the 4 people who were on Baron, and pretty much heisting our way to the 3-0. So I think it was a really crazy ending to that game. I know we were like, we were even after the game, we were like, we should not have been able to get away with that. But yeah, it was a really interesting series. Going back, since I know you said you wanted to have me rebuttal game 1 and game 2. Game 1, I think we just had a really good counter draft to their engage comp with the Taric, Xin Zhao, Xayah, Syndra. They weren't really ever able to get a good angle on engage because we could always just like counter engage really hard with our comp. I also think that in game 1, I did want to highlight Fort 20 top lane, who even in a counter, even in the blinding the Trundle, managed to put a lot of work in solo killing top lane, and just putting so much pressure on contingent because the Renekton just could not match that Trundle. Game 2, I think, was a bit closer, but I felt we were always in that driver's seat still, even though the LeBlanc was really fed. Just
Yeah, I don't
because
know how that happens.
we had, yeah, my mid laner's a little greedy goober. But I mean, I felt like we were still in the driver's seat because we had the scaling comp with the Senna. It's just, and with the Yone and Sejuani comp, I mean, even though we were behind for a little bit in that game, just we knew how to play the macro. We knew not to panic, just scale up. And I think that was just like a really big adaptation that we'd had this playoffs that just made us such a solid team this week. Was even though we fell behind, we would fall a little bit behind, we maintained like our composure, and we just knew, okay, just play it smart, play the macro. We can find angles into it that way. And I think that's what ended up having us take home that 3-0, despite being in deficits in game 2 and 3.
One last thing before I let you talk, Sorb. I'm sorry. I know we're yapping a bunch, but
You're good.
just I know you said it, Ted. I want to shout out Mr. Fort 20. I remember when he like first came on the team and he was like, dude, I'm a real big fan of like the range tops, man. And I'm just like, I was always of the solo queue mind of like, ooh, range tops suck. They're like so annoying. But I don't know, man. That game 3, that was the biggest bird. All right, that guy put on a show. He absolutely he did a great job of finding us an angle back into that game. We were down looking at the scoreboard, it's like 22 kills on the side of contingent, and we had 11 kills to end that game. It was like we were so out of it on paper, but it was crazy. They found angles. Centerist did, like you said, Ted said, did a great job of just being like, let's just go for it, see if we can make it happen. And the rest of us were just we were kind of like mosquitoes up top, being like, just don't let him base, don't let him get out of here. Ted's just walking around Deera is walking around at people as Blitzcrank, just staring at him, not even throwing hooks, just mental warfaring everybody. It is. I need to get it clipped because it was one of my favorite moments, even just playing League of Legends, just coming out of that on top when we even thought. I guess honestly, one thing I always thought, even when I was playing that game, I'm like, it's bad. We might not win this, but how funny would it be if we did win? Is always one of my big motivators. And it ended up paying off that time. So,
oh yeah. I mean, going through your guys' draft, obviously, I don't have the pick orders, and I was a little busy at the time of these games.
Yeah.
I don't understand the world you ever pick Renekton into Trundle. That seems like Renekton dives in and then tries getting out, gets pillared and ran the fuck down. But maybe they're picking it just for the Sejuani synergy and trying to live up there, but I think those champions hit 2 items and you just never lose again.
I think one thing to note about the drafts is that I agree that game 1 comp was really, really, really in favor of bare minimum. I think game 2 and game 3 was definitely a lot more even. The one thing that sort of raises questions in my mind is that I feel like Pixel Wolf has been consistently playing really, really good. And within the series, I mean 3 games, she only died 2 times and getting 3-0'd. That's really good. I personally, if my AD carry is putting a lot of pressure bot lane and is sort of the focus, I would not let the enemy team take a free Seraphine Merchant game 2 games in a row. That's just me.
Oh, we 100% thought the same thing. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, we were kind of just we thought Pixel Wolf was the best. We were like, oh, she's playing Ziggs. This is great. That's not that champ's annoying, but that's not going to be a playmaker into the game gonna hard 1v9 a game. And so we were like, I think we kind of got away with murder in some of the drafts.
Yeah, I agree. Because if she's getting so many leads, it doesn't matter. Because Seraphine's gonna Seraphine, whether or not the enemy AD carry is winning lane, getting ahead. I mean, when we played our finals in Warden, we went into it knowing that our bot lane was significantly leagues and miles ahead of the enemy bot lane. And so every single game we just first phase banned Ziggs Seraphine because we didn't want them to mage merchant their way out of getting dicked down by my bot lane. And feels like you guys managed to get away with murder, which is good. I mean, it's good to recognize that, you know, having those Seraphine allows you to like win team fights despite how a bot lane goes. And, you know, there's a lot of teams and a lot of players that like wouldn't be willing to do that and would just like try and force skill check into, you know, pixel perma. And obviously, I mean, your team succeeded for, you know, for your choices.
Yeah, I also did feel like Astro Smash. Obviously, I don't really know the players. I can't really say, but it did not really feel like they had like a lot of answers into for counter pick. It just kind of felt like they were picking like the same like like standard top laners and just kind of like trying to go even almost. Because I mean the as Storm said, their Renekton into Trundle is not really a favorable matchup, but it just kind of felt like Astro Smash just didn't know what to play into it. Same thing with like the Aatrox, like Aatrox and Renekton's like it's a skill matchup, but it's still not really punishing the fact that our top laner is blinding on blue side and you have that counter pick. You've saved that R5 counter pick for your top laner. Um I mean, I think in game 3, Astro Smash played pretty well on the Gragas blind. But it just kind of felt like Astro Smash didn't really get the value off of the counter pick that they were looking for.
What were you gonna say, Wooly?
I've been pounding the table for 4 weeks now to see a Seraphine Senna bot lane, and we finally got it in game 2. So thank you for answering my pleas, because I still believe that bot lane is incredibly strong, and I think it's a good way, to Cherry's point, to neutralize who has been the most consistent player on Contingent Yellow. Pixel Wolf, she has played amazing throughout the playoffs, throughout the season in general, but the playoffs has just been a whole nother level of like just even in bad matchups coming out of that lane in very good shape. So hats off to Pixel Wolf, but also thank you so much for the set of Seraphine lane.
Yeah, I'm kind of known as being a Senna abuser, and so but I normally don't play it that much just due to kind of favoring the engage supports. However, it was just such a good angle with the Yone Sejuani Renekton. So I was just like, I think we just get the Senna and we just kind of snowball off of that.
Sure. Riven, any thoughts on the matchup?
Man, I think it'll be interesting. I don't know. I just go. I remember I was just like watching these Crusader playoffs, and I was watching the Roaring Blood Moon, and I was cheering you on, and then unfortunately for you, I didn't end up going away. And then Blood Moon's just been really good. Bare minimum of the 3-0 in the backdooriest way, which is really cool. The backdoor is crazy. Man, this finals, it'll be fun. But yeah, I think, I don't know. Bare minimum with a weird 3-0, and then Blood Moon with a kind of convincing 3-1. I'm leaning Blood Moon in this one, but I think it'll be interesting to see. I think the picks are going to be cool. We're going to see a lot of pick diversity if we see the Senna Seraphine again, and I don't know. It's just I'm expecting a fun one. That's it.
My head tells me Blood Moon, but
Yeah.
my heart now says bare minimum.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know, my heart also says bare minimum, so I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
My heart says bare minimum, and because I've gotten both my predictions wrong, I'm gonna use my brain to predict Blood Moon because I did watch Resilient put on a hockey mask and chainsaw massacre the entirety of Roar. So I'm going to predict Blood Moon so that bare minimum wins. Do you see what I'm getting at?
I have a counter as probably the #1 Resilient hater. I don't know, the one game I got to watch, game 4, is I'm watching, he's playing Ashe into Kaisa. a notorious matchup that favors Ashe. He's on the Ashe. And I see somehow this guy says 6-0. And I wonder, Resilient, how are you losing on this in this counter pick matchup?
Okay, hold on. 80 carry matchups like on their own is not enough. Let's see what.
Okay.
No,
okay.
it was Ashe
Okay,
Braum.
never mind.
it's
Okay,
fine, it's
never
fine.
mind.
It's
Never
okay,
mind. Yeah, Ashe Braum, you're right. So what the fuck are we doing, guys?
Me and Resilient banter back and forth. Don't get me wrong. Game 3, I think, is probably the only game he's actually the main reason they're winning.
Damn.
Like
Yeah.
game 1, he randomly gets caught by me bot lane and gets ran the fuck down, and is just trying to arcane shift away on repeat and just still gets ran down. Game 2, Abound's literally just sitting bot lane for 5 ganks in a row. Game 3, kind of the issue of playing Jhin. If Kai'Sa gets the 3 items and you're not on 4, she can just tag you with W one time, ult on your head, and you really can't do anything about it. And then game 4 was a bit of an int on my part.
So
But-
if Abound was the bot the entire time, game 2, then how did this Mordekaiser get 8-0? What happened there?
I had 8 minions in front of my turret, and my jungler tried walking topside, and I went, "This probably isn't a good idea." And then he did it anyways.
I see.
Still
Yeah, it does look like your jungler had a bit of an incident, perhaps, that game. Yo, someone save my boy Jenka. He's 4-1-3. He's pumping out DPS, and the entire game's falling apart around him.
Yeah.
I think for an AD carry of Mustard Gas, who clearly has like performed well enough, I think Resilient just like not losing was sort of the win con. And I mean, he won the series. He also did like drop a massive nuke on your guys' skulls on game 3. And I'm here, like I'm probably like maybe not number 1 Resilient hater. I'm maybe in like the top 20 or so, which there's a big list.
Still respectable. I always respect.
Yeah, it's sort of. Yeah.
I don't
So
know. My favorite comment from him during this series was 2 seconds before we readied game 1. He went, "No way, they gave me my one trick," and then proceeded to lose on it.
okay, that is kind of funny. See, like you're giving these anecdotes, and it's like, damn,
God
it is
damn.
good.
I
I wonder
biggest app.
I wonder if this is how people feel when I lose. I guess I'll
I do
never know.
When you lose, that Taco over here gets very happy.
Yeah, I mean that guy. It's like I would call Badgrr my number 1 hater, but Taco exists, so it's like
I'll be everyone's hater. I don't care.
Yeah, Taco's
True.
a generational hater.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I do have to ask if you guys get paid to do this, or if you just do this for the love of the game, because.
What, hate?
Mhm.
Oh, I just fun.
The love of the game.
My story of hatred. It honestly it's been like months brewing at this
Fucking
point.
hater lore, man.
No, I actually there's lore to it at this point. Like so week 3 was when Bare Minimum faced Clown in the regular season. That was the week that I unfortunately was out of town. So I was still bantering in the chat, as you do, right? You know, you still gotta make it spicy. But I'm just like I'm sitting there like, oh, we're gonna win. Bare Minimum was on a really good streak, right? We beat RAR, we beat NLE, we were feeling good. And then we go into week 3, and they beat us. You know, they got a 1. And I'm having to sit here. It's the streamed game. I'm watching it, and I'm just like, oh man, I can't be here, dude. And I'm just like, no. I have to sit here and watch as like I'm not able to be there for the team play mid lane and watch as Resilience going, I got you this time. We won this time. And so I've just been sitting here like with every fiber of my being.
Just waiting
Every
for
single
your
fiber.
turn.
I want to play against this roster. And then it just so happened, all right, we're on the other side of the finals. All right, I guess we just have to make it a final. And look at us now. We made it, and I took that promise, and I'm here now, and we're gonna win.
So unironically, I think Bare Minimum's matchup into them is a lot better than a lot of other teams. Just because, like, here's my one op statement for them. I think if you play pure standard into that team, they're very good, but they are very bad at dealing with anything that's like not cookie cutter. Like our game 1 with that Yorick pick, like I actually have the most damage in the game because no one knows what to do against it constantly. And then they also aren't catching sideways properly ever, and then they don't know how to dive Kog'Maw properly because if they ever dive him, I'm just standing on his head and we're both just 2-tapping any person that dives. So I think that's the one like caveat you guys have going into that matchup is I think you guys just need to let your players be their players. Like for being able to play Quinn, range tops, things like that. Like I've said it before and I'll say it again. This team plays through Jace hopefully gapping somebody and then running that lead around the map.
So
Yeah,
you're saying perhaps it's quinnable for bare minimum.
I'm
It
gonna
always is
pump
Quinnable.
myself.
It's always Quinnable with that
yeah,
champ
it's
in the
always
game.
quinnable. It's always
I'm up.
quinnable with Fort 20 on Quinn.
Alright.
I did want to kind of talk about like that week 3 series because I feel like I feel like Clown did a very good job of like seeing how we won our first 2 series and then kind of countering it really hard and we weren't really able to recover. I mean, I always like to joke that resilience kind of just like that the person who's instigating while he has like 3 bodyguards just perma 4-manning bot lane and like saving his ass. I mean that week 3 series bare minimum was kind of a very one-dimensional team and Clown did a very good job of 4-manning bot perma and just making it so that Davis could like not really play the game. And I think as the season's gone on, we've kind of took that into mind, and I think we've become a much more versatile team. We're not just play one style kind of team, and I think that shows in our last playoff match where, I mean I played like one engage support, which isn't really engage support because it's like a hook champion, and we played like a lot more through like just having the Seraphine just kind of weak sided and just play team fights. And I think that's like something that um Clown that will definitely help us in this series is that Clown doesn't really know what to expect with us.
All right. Well,
Who would have thought?
yeah.
I mean, Badger just took my breath away. That's all I can say. Every time I hear
That's
it.
that's what I try to do, man. I don't want you to matter
No,
me.
Tommy,
That's
you're
like
in.
score.
Got the tie on and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else for Crusader League?
Oh shit! It's finals for them.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
I guess I kind of have a returning question, and honestly, like this could also circle back to Sentinel with some of the people who know it. I've kind of been like, I don't know if we'll like cast it or if like that's gonna be something that's like put on, but like kind of MVP. I wonder if like there's like an all team like voting for the Crusader.
We usually do that. We actually do that usually once all of the leagues are closed and done. We put up votes for MVP for each of the leagues.
Gotcha.
And then the winners of the MVPs get skins usually. We're trying to find a way to make sure it doesn't turn into a popularity contest, which is what it's happened the last 2 splits. So we're trying to figure out the best way to put it out there for MVP votes without it, people
Oh,
I think-
making it popularity.
Sentinel's cooked.
Yeah.
Sentinel's cooked.
I think that's
come on.
100%. Oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, come on, guys. Arbiter League has a lot of favorites.
Oh no.
Well, I guess okay, I can kind of like reiterate then. Well, if MVPs vote, I guess I also think there's the argument like I would say all team. I obviously have favoritism on my team, but I also still have like some like people who I think would make like the all team like best in role. And I have like an MVP favorite. I won't share who that is. But you'll know it. Or you'll probably know it if you hear my all team. I don't know. Can I share my all team or do we want to keep that secret? I don't know. Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I'll go support, and I guess can I use any of my teammates or should I just like say not team?
You can use
As long as it's
anybody
not
you
your
think.
whole team.
No, it would not be my whole team.
This man's about to cope for a paycheck.
No.
This is
No.
dangerous in the right before a final.
Yeah, it is. A little dangerous. I would say top lane, probably 2-1 Jace. I think that's probably not contested. Maybe. I don't know. I think he's brought a lot. I think he's brought a lot to the team, and I think everybody, like we've been talking about it, like that guy puts on a performance when he gets the opportunity. He goes crazy. Jungle, I honestly think there is an argument for Cineris to be considered the all-team jungler. Who else is like really? I've really seen. I know I've also seen Abound. Abound has been doing good as well. And sodium hydroxide also one of the better performances there. That guy was causing us a lot of problems. He was very solid as well. Mid lane, it's not myself. I'll be honest, it's not me, guys. But I honestly, it's kind of a sleeper pick. I think Chakra's actually like in laning phase. I felt like he was the one who applied a ton of pressure to me. Also, Humor, to be honest, kind of gapped me game 2. Game 2 especially, he put me in the dirt. Game 3 was a little more close, and game 1 went my way. But I also think he could be in the running. Wookiee's also good. I know I'm kind of just listing off player guys. I apologize.
Can I add one thing to your mid lane? I've played with Chakras. This man is goated with his comms. I mean, this man will point out things that you won't even see. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool.
No, yeah, I respected like that was the one lane where I came out of laning phase and I was just like, yeah, I got absolutely destroyed. Like there was like no ifs, whats, or buts about it. Like it wasn't even like that serious. He went crazy. 80 carry. Pixel Wolf. Probably Pixel Wolf. Yeah, honestly, Davis is a contender, but I kind of think Pixel Wolf has done the most individually for her team. Davis, if we're counting like the first couple weeks of bare minimum, yes. I think the rest of the team is rounded out though. Davis is still goes crazy, but I think the rest of the team is kind of like we've stepped up and like learned how to play with him, which is good. And support, I'd probably go Deera. It's either going to be Deera or Silver Nighthawk. I think Deera does a great job mental wise, like keeping team composed. That's obviously bias because I'm on the team. But then also, like, just being able to play whatever. Engage, he's been mainly put on Engage, but he gets it done. And then Silver Nighthawk, I think, just enables the entirety of Clown Blood Moon to do what they want. That guy's everywhere. He does exactly what his team needs. He's goated. Sorry, I rambled a lot. I don't know if everybody wants to
just to kind of add on to your picks, particularly on ADC. I did want to just say I think that it's really insane that Pixel Wolf will always kind of be a very consistent player. I think that's where actually I think Pixel Wolf has a advantage is that I've never really like playing against them. I never really felt like they made like any like key mistakes that I was able to punish. They just weren't really able to get enough done because they didn't really have much of a lead a lot of the time. I think Davis has his like really big pop off moments, but then also has his very big like greed moments, which is why I think that my vote for ADC MVP is probably Pixel or Striker, just because I feel like they're all both very, very consistent. But probably, a little bit of an edge on Pixel just because of how even in the losses, how consistently they're pumping out damage and not really ever getting caught.
Nice.
Pretty fair.
Alrighty then, and we've had some sneak peeks into people's thoughts. Badger, do not type the answer to that. I will be asking you on stream. I see you typing.
I was just kidding.
Sorry, he's trying to answer a question before we're ready. All right, if there is nothing else for Crusader, then make sure you guys see us Wednesday at the LXC mainstream to watch that finals game live. So we'll get to see, who gets to come away, Clown Gaming or Bare Minimum with the chip. And
just a single chip?
Just a single chip and a lot of money.
Are we talking like a Doritos type situation or
a nacho chip?
No,
Wait, there was money?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, how much?
You guys are getting paid?
So if you go into the announcement, or not the announcements, the important information, and this goes to all you viewers too, it's open easily available to everybody. Important info, quick information channel. There is a prize pool post, and that does tell you the prize pools for all the leagues that are in the LXE.
Really?
Yes. So you can
Huh?
see. Yeah.
So I want you
Yeah.
guys to look at that and then think about all the drama that happened in Arbiter.
Right.
Damn, bro, Cherry's
Oh
rich.
my
Right.
god.
That's actually the
Yeah.
funniest part of that,
That
actually.
is the
It
funniest
is.
part.
So that is every season we do put that up there. As you can see, you can scroll up and see the other seasons and what the prize pools were. And remember
where is
prize
this
pools.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find it.
Any announcements?
Important information.
Damn,
Mhm.
Cherry's
Category.
rich, I guess now.
It's right
Holy
under
shit.
faction war stats.
I don't think I'm getting any of that bread, by the way.
God, this is so I've access to
It's
so
Beards
many
and catchphrases.
chats.
Yeah,
He
there
take it
is
all.
there is a lot of information in here. It's just the quick information. Anything that you want to find quickly, it's usually in the important information, quick information post.
Oh, thank you, Soul.
Did you link it for him?
Yeah,
That's
he
very nice.
understands that I'm stupid, so.
Well, everybody knew that.
Yeah, our prize pools always vary from split to split depending on how many teams sign up for a league. So
Oh.
there you go. There you go, Crusader.
Wait, Ted, we're gonna be wait, Deera, we're gonna be rich. Holy moly!
I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's all we're going right.
Oh, not Badger. Now you know.
You thought that
Yeah, I
code
think the
was
Warden
free,
prize
Badger?
pool has been sent to the state for government funding or something.
No.
Actually, as your owner knows, Cherry, because you had teams still in, I wait until all teams from a group, an org, is out, so I can only do one payment rather than
Yeah,
a
that's how it
bazillion little
makes
payments.
sense.
Yeah, it saves it saves a lot of time and effort.
Oh my god, I fucking hate dealing with people like that who did so many small transactions at the
Oh,
bank.
I know, right? It's like, oh my gosh. And I have to keep track of all the paperwork. We are a legal charity, so I do actually have to file taxes and say where the money goes and everything like that. So it's just easier to make sure it's one payment
When
and
it
I break it out.
calculates
So yeah.
Wait, we're a
Yeah.
charity?
Yeah.
Yes, LXC is a charity
Why do you
tournament
think Brazilians do,
organization.
man?
I felt
We
like I was
are.
playing against some charity players in that league.
Oh,
I
wow.
was gonna make a comment.
Brother.
Snaps. Okay, and with that, we're gonna move on over to the community questions, and we'll start with the one that Soul typed first because that's quite amusing. And that is directly pointed at Badger, which is in the Nico triple kill clip that he posted. Who started barking in the comms?
All right,
Okay, that's all.
Running in.
I have orange.
find this one.
Thank you, Spider.
I have Rose on me. Oh my goodness, dude.
Oh my god, nice.
Wow.
Shit.
Okay, Riven. We push top turret.
Wasn't it you?
Yeah, it was me. It was me. It was me.
How do I explain this?
I had to. Yeah.
You know what?
See,
Sometimes
as
you
much
just gotta
as
let
I
the
wanna
dog
make-
out.
As much as I want to make the joke that the guy with dog in his name did the barking, it was definitely Badger.
Sometimes if you just play like those enabling champions, like Galio's also
really into.
Galio's also another example. Like I went through all ranges of emotions that entire series. Right? We went from game 1, game 2, losing, to having to have like the greatest motivational speech of all time from our jungler, and to just slowly bringing it back, and you get that kind of play in game 5. I lost my mind a little bit, but in the best way.
It was good.
So yeah, I was me, but I'll be proud of it. It's fine.
For the listeners, where
Okay.
can they find this clip?
It's actually the intro
honestly-
video for this past week's Crusader stream,
I can
as
also
well
try to-
as it should still be posted in the LXC content clips and highlights channel.
All I gotta say, Badger's listening to some good ass music when that play happened.
I was putting on. I started like during that in series. I was listening to some like different stuff on YouTube. I started now getting really attached to like I don't know what the actual artist's name is, but it's just like basically it's usually a clip of like Peter Griffin like doing some like a dance like disco dance on loop for like an hour, and it's just like some house music like remixes. I recommend it. It gets you in a good mood to play some League of Legends. I'll be honest.
This dude is really listening to fucking Peter Griffin core. I'm so sick.
It's kind of Peter Griffin core. No,
I'd
no.
like
Sometimes,
to, I'd
fucking
like to change
sick.
my prediction.
sometimes Napoleon Dynamite shows up. It's good. It's a good variety.
Oh, goodness. All right. Question 2 that we have is also from Soulkeeper because nobody posted community questions this week. So he wants to know if you guys think any of the winners are gonna go to Disneyland after their win.
Well, based after people finding out about this prize pool information, this may change the answer.
Yeah. They're
I
going to
am-
be able to afford 2 tickets now.
Deera's going because he's hogging all the money. He's
That's
I'm an
true.
org owner, guys. I want all the money. That's
I
what's
think I
happening.
legitimately am going to Disney. I'm taking friends in December. So
It's like odd time to go.
It's in Florida. It's
Actually, it's
always
a
warm.
great time to go.
Don't matter.
yeah.
It's a great time to go in December.
I mean, it's after my semester. I mean, my parents like live an hour away, so they're gonna be out of the country. So they said I can have some people over.
Yeah,
They're not from Florida, so
we're like 2 hours south of Disney. So can tell you in December is when you get the least amount of out of country
Disney World.
tourists.
So what I'm hearing here is LAN party at Cherry's parents' house.
nobody,
Yeah.
nobody in this call is coming anywhere near my parents' house. Let's make that very clear.
Okay, better idea. We have a LXC party at Disneyland. In
Chili Vish can
Ooh.
come and only
Christmas.
her because she's cool. No one else.
Oh,
though.
thank you.
That's great.
You should
That,
smash
and I
the
clean
hater.
up after myself, so there's that.
I wipe my own ass.
Wipe my own ass, guys. Well, that's good.
Okay, hated that sentence. Never want to hear it again. Thanks.
Oh my god.
all right. So on to something a little more serious. This is a question for me because we needed to find some questions. Now that you have had a chance to play the patch, and this goes to all of you, how do you like it? What do you not like about it?
Please stop nuking my fucking roll.
I think it's funny when his role gets nuked, so I'm a big fan of this.
Wait, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the
new
latest patch.
patch.
Now that people have had a
Taco.
chance to play it.
Oh, that
Tell me.
fucking this new patch sucks.
Like half of my top lane champion pool already has bad AD ratios a lot of the time. And then we just nuked AD off every single item I build and then went, good luck, have fun.
I
Yeah.
think once they get this in seriousness, I think once they get the numbers and stuff tuned, because obviously it's a big change, it's not going to be good on the first patch. I do think reducing power from items is going to be very healthy for the game, because I feel like a lot of champions have sort of become almost like vessels to just abuse the strength of items. And it makes snowballing a lot harder to deal with, because if all of the strength is in the items, then whenever people are getting item spikes faster, it becomes harder to come back from that. As well as it allows champions themselves to be buffed in ways that make them feel better to play. Also, they made Storm Surge really OP this patch for fun, and I'm just playing Storm Surge, Gwen Jungle, full AP, and it's really, really funny. So I'm a big fan of all of that.
Okay, Badgrr, what do you think?
I kind of actually I agree with Cherry a little bit. I'm more of a fan of I haven't played a whole lot of ranked games. I kind of just been playing on Sealed Spellbook a lot recently. But playing on the patch for our first series, it was pretty spooky. I think there is a lot more prevalence of some mage bot laners kind of being a little stronger. Also, hyper carry 80 carries feel like they are super annoying right now. I know someone mentioned it, but Kog'Maw that little goober is a nightmare right now. Right, I think that champion is a stinker. He feels so strong, and also Jinx feels like she's doing good. Kai'Sa can get away with doing stuff. I think I kind of like that meta a little bit, but I think Cog's a little too crazy. So maybe he gets dialed back, and it's good. Mid lane, like Cherry said, Storm Surge is a really fun item, and a lot of my mid lane champs really enjoy using it. So I've been enjoying mid lane. I thought I wouldn't, but it's been pretty chill.
Okay.
I'll say
Sorry.
in solo queue, Storm Surge is great. When you get into competitive play, from what I've personally experienced so far and have seen on multiple levels, scaling champions are absolutely the way to go, because if you pick a scaling comp into a non-scaling comp, it's so much worse than it used to be. Like previously, you could just like force a game onto a non-scaling comp and end the game before they could scale. You can't do that anymore. If you play a scaling comp the way it's meant to be played, you are going to outscale and you are going to win that game 100% of the time.
Yeah, the burden of execution becomes a lot higher on the team without better early game, and that is like partially a function of the design choice of making items weaker, right? Because the stronger items are, the team that is strong early and gets those items first will be able to do more with that lead. I think eventually it will balance itself out once people get used to it. I think also in general on a new patch or like a new meta that is being forced, comps that will consistently win out late game will perform better early on into the patch, because that is functionally easier to do, right? When the burden of execution is high, the team with less burden of execution is going to perform better when nobody has any idea what's going on. So I think that is a problem that will remedy itself over time, over like, as they fine tune like the specific numbers of the patch instead of just, having a concept that needs to be tested.
I
All right,
agree
what about
100%.
you, Ribbon?
How this patch has been for me, it can be described like this. Hello, opposing mid laner. My name is Riven. I press R button and you're gone. That's how Storm Surge just felt on champs like Nico, champs like Syndra, Veigar. They feel so good right now. It is ridiculous. My LeBlanc is good right now too because of it. I love this patch for me, man. This is great for me. I'm loving this. Even though I did really enjoy the melee mid stuff last patch with like the Yone and stuff, Yone is still gonna be decent. He's not as good as he was last patch, but he's gonna be decent. Like this patch for me, I'm enjoying it. This goes back to my mid lane roots of like how I started playing mid lane, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So
Cool. Deera, what about you?
So I actually, I agree with Cherry that I think things are gonna balance it out. I think right now, with the fact that a lot of the item spikes are a lot less crazy, I think it actually like really hinders like these snowbally aggressive comps early, and just makes it so that even if enemy ADC has like snowballed a little bit, has first item, it doesn't feel as oppressive as like, for example, last patch once the ADC got like the first item spike, it felt like you couldn't play anymore. I also think part of the reason hyper carries are really strong right now is Riot is really crazily buffed enchanters. I mean, Forbidden Idol being a 600 gold item and not nerfed at all is crazy to me. And I actually think that the meta will start to lean back into enchanters until Riot eventually will just buff back a lot of the champion power into engage supports that they kind of nerfed a little bit like the past couple seasons because items were really broken on engage supports. I just think that as of right now it's probably just going to be like a Lulu, Melio, like enchanter kind of hyperscaling bot lane meta, just due to how like nerfed snowballing is a little bit. Not to say that engage supports won't be good, because engage supports are always good because you can't move for 5 seconds. But I just think that the enchanters, I already felt like enchanters were in a pretty like good spot. Like I didn't think they were meta, but I thought that they were like pretty decent in the right spots. I think now a lot of enchanters are just gonna start moving into like stacking forbidden idols early for the crazy power early game where they like normally struggle, and it's gonna be like a pretty hard meta in general.
Oh, sorry. You keep
Yeah, you're
going.
good. Yeah, and then like the other thing is I do also agree that I think games are gonna go longer, which I think it makes drafting more interesting because it like a lot of drafting is now gonna be off of stylistically drafting well for like team fights and like comp counters. So like for example, in bare minimums game 1 with playing that counter engage like scaling team fight comp. However, I also think that it does kind of hurt watching the game, just because I think that generally people don't want to see those snowbally aggressive early game comps, and I think it's gonna become a lot more stable. But I think that'll kind of adjust as Riot starts putting a bit more champion buffs, to kind of balance out like the champs that struggled with the new item changes.
Okay. Good insights. Good insights. Taco, have you played this patch or no?
I have been getting ran down by my teammates, not even from the opponents. I've had 2 AFKs and 2 enters, so.
So you haven't really gotten a good grasp.
No,
of
I
it.
haven't. I mean,
Yeah,
the one
okay.
other game that I won, I started the game off with 5 kills, so at 3 minutes. So I can't give you an honest answer. It's been a
Okay.
shit show for me.
Yeah, because with all these item changes and like, I don't know if it's like the top laner copium of like me internally crying about it, but like it feels like the only lane that can like hard play for early game anymore is mid lane, because mid lane's like the only lane that didn't have its burst items just damn near removed.
True.
Like Eclipse just getting gutted, it's like kind of just the staple item for a lot of melee top laners right now, at least that are playing for early game, like Renekton, things like that. Like, it feels like you're taking so much power out of a lot of these champions and then just saying, well, we'll come back and we'll put the power in their kit later. So I think we're gonna just have this really weird kind of stat check for a little while. Like, this is why the same reason I'm really high on Kog'Maw right now is Kog'Maw has never been a champion that abuses his items. He abuses how his items interact to his kit, and not vice versa. And that's kind of why, like, in our series, Cog became this perma blue side B1 or perma red side ban. But I'm hoping in the next coming patches we get some more power back in like early game, because like honestly no one wants to watch Kog'Maw Caitlyn or Kaisa play to 30 minutes and then we play off who either got Lulu or who got the random Sedge ult to the head.
Yeah.
I think mid lane feels pretty close to how it did previously, with like the mid game band is not as high as it used to be. It's kind of leveled out a little bit. And early game, at least for me, like the first couple games that I've played on Champions, I'm having to relearn my kill threshold, where like I would have a kill previously, so I'll make like a play where I think I've got the kill threshold, and then I end up 75 health short of killing them, or you know, something around there. Yeah, and it's been, I guess the nice part about it is if you make a mistake early, it's not as punishable anymore because everybody's just doing less damage.
Everyone's
for the most
making
part.
the same mistakes.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I agree. I think mid has a stronger early game, but their mid band where everybody else gets stronger feels a little weaker, but not out of line, I guess, is how it feels.
Okay. And there you have it, guys. That's what we think of the new patch so far. So we will go from serious back into something fun. We will be ending the summer split obviously next week. Our next event will be a Halloween Fearless charity event. It's a weekend tournament. And will any of you be joining into this tournament? And if so, would you dress up and go on cam? Well,
Ooh.
Well,
so Reaper, sorry, real quick, Reaper, one of our mods just told me, well, I know Badger's gonna dress up.
Yeah,
I guess I am. All right, I'll come up with something.
Badger's gonna win finals on Nico, and then he's gonna dress up as cosplayer Nico on on Halloween.
True.
It'll be perfect. I will. I would hope. I don't know yet what I'm doing. I'll make some time for it, I think. Yeah, I'm excited. I'll have a costume ready to go. Camera, keys and wide as I'm smiling. Who knows what I'm gonna wear? I don't even know yet, so we'll figure it out.
Wooly,
Might
what
not
about
wear
you?
anything.
I'll be wearing something. At
It's
least
fine,
at
we-
least what the camera can see, I'll wear something. I promise you that
We
much.
can put up
But-
like pixelated bleeps or whatever. It's all good. We got you.
Oh man, you guys threatened me with a great time, and you take it away.
You can't put it on Twitch.
I think I have enough time to make something happen. I might be interested in doing this. I don't. I have a couple ideas of what, but I'm not gonna share.
Right. Make it a surprise. I just want to know if you would show up, and if so, would you dress up and be on cam?
Yeah, I could be down for that. I could be talked into this.
Yeah, I can wear my maid outfit again.
Jack,
I do have the full-size Echo Bat.
What about you, Riven?
Depending on my schedule, I will look if my schedule allows it. I'll be there, and I will cook something up.
Nice.
Will the
Taco,
heels be coming back?
I can do heels.
He's like, maybe, yeah.
Oh, I mean, if they want it, I'll give the people what they want.
I think I've seen a picture of your heels.
I put them.
Yeah, he did post them.
A man
He's
of the
actually
people.
just gonna do Gender Bender Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay.
He's gonna be
Who
like,
knows?
look, I'm
Who
sneaky for
knows?
Halloween.
Oh, sneaky. My sweet boy.
Yeah.
I know. Taco, did you say you were coming?
If I have time, yeah.
What about you, Storm?
This is the first I've heard of it, but
It's the first time I'm
Shoot.
talking about it.
shoot me the information, and if we can have everyone there, we will more than likely be there.
Would you be there on camera in costume?
I could be coerced.
You could be coerced.
The worst.
I love it. I love it. Deera, what about you?
If I don't, then Badger's probably gonna drive up here and like drag me kicking and screaming. So
I'll find a way. I'll get him there.
we'll see.
How about you, Cherry?
I have not worn a Halloween costume in so long.
Cringe.
Well, that's
Yeah.
kind of the fun of it,
Cringe.
right?
I probably not, but maybe.
That's a definite yes. That's what I heard.
I believe in you. All right, so for those listening, Halloween
Actually,
event.
there's a better question. Are you gonna do it, Vish?
Am
Yeah.
I might. It depends on whether or not I have a cam by that point. I might pop my face on for a little bit, but I'm not casting, so unlikely I will be there for very long. But
She's got to do the post-game interviews.
you know,
The pre-game and post-game.
if I get a partner to talk with me, because I don't know enough to ask correct questions, so I can do intros and stuff. That's what I do.
LXC Vishkara about to be LXC fucking Shocks. Let's go.
Yeah, you know.
You got Soul right next to you.
Right. I don't even know what he's talking about. He has plans for my Halloween costume that I don't know about. Yeah. So for those of you, just a reminder that we're listening in on our possible Halloween fun, we're looking at doing a Fearless charity event. It is only going to be a weekend tournament. We will get you guys dates and information, of course, after the split ends and we get all that posted up. So do watch the announcements for that, because we will also have a Thanksgiving and Christmas event as usual. Last question, if you can hear past my dog, well, Soul's dog, cake or pie? And we'll start at the top, Badger.
Cake.
Jerry.
It's a complicated question because I think I like cake more often, but I mean, I really like ice cream cake because I don't like the like dry cake bits of the cake. But I also don't like the like dry crust of the pie. But like ice cream pies don't exist. Ice cream cakes do exist, you know what I'm saying? So
I've never heard of an ice cream pie.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't exist.
That's why she went cake.
That's why I went cake.
Yep. Deera?
One of my favorite desserts is con pie. So I really like that, but considering that I'm not like a huge fan of most other pies outside of maybe like a key lime pie, I probably would just say cake.
Storm?
You know, it said cake or pie, but like the answer is obviously cookies. But I guess I will say cake.
Taco.
Neither. I hate sweets.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
That
that tracks.
explains a
You
lot.
are really not a fan of fun.
Yeah.
Happiness
True.
or
The fuck do you mean?
Taco's
You
favorite
heard her.
sweet is an apple.
Ribbon, cake or pie?
Cake. I will say this question is shout out to my longtime teammate, Barbaric Champion. This is his icebreaker question for anytime we get a new teammate, so he knows the type of person he's dealing with. So cake or pie? Shout out Barbaric. He will die on the hill that pie is 100 times better than cake, and I have fought him every single time. So shout out to him.
You know, it is okay
former
to be
teammate
wrong.
then.
So.
That's what I'm saying. It is okay to be.
I think if pie was right, to be in Crusader, not Sentinel. But
All right. Well, unless anybody has anything else to say, then we can go ahead and close off the podcast for today.
You never got your
And,
answer.
Me?
Yeah.
actually-
What's your answer?
I actually prefer muffins.
All right. Well,
That wasn't an
They're just
option.
mini cakes.
Well, I didn't answer either, so.
Can't judge. Yes, so does anybody have anything else they'd like to add to this podcast before before we close out for the evening? All right, everybody. That's the end of episode 12. We will see you guys next week for the Sentinel and Crusader finals. Peace out.